Once upon a time in a quaint little town named Maplewood, there lived a boy named Ethan Grant. In this town, dreams often squashed under the weight of reality. It was a place where families worked tirelessly just to make ends meet, where each dollar mattered more than anything else. Ethan was born into a loving but modest family, where his father spent long hours laboring in a factory and his mother cleaned homes to bring food to their table. They worked hard, believing something important: that success was earned, not given. From a young age, Ethan learned the power of persistence. While other kids played and cruised through life, he awoke before dawn to toss newspapers onto porches, flipped burgers after school, and stocked shelves late into the night. He wasn't the smartest kid in class, nor the most athletic, but what he lacked in natural talent, he made up for with tenacity. The struggles he faced shaped his character, molding him into a hard-working young man who believed in the idea that every hardship was a stepping stone to something greater. As Ethan navigated through life, he began to notice something about the families around him. His friends' parents, like his own, often faced tough choices between quality and affordability. There were many times Ethan watched his own mother sift through discount aisles, trying to find a value for household items, just to save a penny or two. This stuck with him. Why couldn't working families have access to good products at reasonable prices? This question sparked a vision in Ethan's mind that would plant the seed for his future endeavor. Fueled by dreams, he attended college, studying business while juggling multiple jobs. He was constantly exhausted, but he thrived on the hustle and grind, knowing that his hard work would eventually pay off. He avoided loans and handouts, believing that the struggle was part of the journey. When he graduated, with the world at his feet and a small loan in his back pocket, Ethan took a leap of faith and opened his first store, Grant Goods. With a clear mission to provide value and integrity, Ethan's store quickly became a beacon for the community. People trusted him, and word about his fair pricing and quality products spread like wildfire. The store flourished, and what started as a single shop multiplied into 10, then 50, and eventually hundreds of locations across the country. Grant Goods became synonymous with affordability, community, and respect, a sanctuary for families struggling to stretch their budgets while still providing for their loved ones. But with success came a price. The bigger his company grew, the more Ethan found himself lost in a maze of spreadsheets and board meetings. The thrilling rush of interactive exchanges in the aisles faded into monotonous reports detailing profits and losses. He became a stranger to his own creation. One sleepless night, sitting behind his grand mahogany desk, Ethan stared out at the glittering skyline of the city and felt a chill creep into his bones. Was everything truly as perfect as it seemed? Sales were high, profits poured in, and customer satisfaction scores were positive. The numbers looked fantastic, but something didn't feel right. It was a gut feeling, one he could not ignore. Ethan remembered the countless stories his father told him. Asterisk, if you want the truth, go see it for yourself. Asterisk, it dawned on him. He had become disconnected from the very foundation of his business. Driven to find answers, Ethan decided to go undercover, ready to experience Grant Goods as a mere customer. The next morning, he dressed in a simple pair of jeans, slipped on an old hoodie, and laced up his worn sneakers. Gone were the tailored suits and polished shoes. Today, he would step into his stores anonymously, seeking the truth. As he entered store number 213, the automatic doors whooshed open, and the comforting scent of fresh coffee wafted from the store cafe. At first glance, everything looked just right. The aisles neatly stocked, the floors spotless, and a sense of pride filled his chest. However, Ethan's initial optimism began to fade when he noticed a line forming at the customer service counter. A group of frustrated customers stood waiting, their faces etched with irritation, some shifting uncomfortably while checking their watches. Yet, there was no staff member behind the counter to assist them. His heart sank. Ethically, customer service was supposed to be the cornerstone of Grant Goods. Ethan decided to step into the line and observe silently. Time slowed as he waited. Minutes trickled by, and finally, a young man ambled over, wearing heavy headphones and a disinterested expression. "What do you need?" he muttered, barely looking up from the phone in his pocket. Ethan's stomach tightened. This was Derek, a name tag pinned to his uniform, one of his employees. What was supposed to be an experience steeped in care felt more like a burden to him. The first customer, a visibly exhausted mother holding a defective blender, explained her situation politely. She still had her receipt, but it had faded slightly. Derek shrugged dismissively, claiming he couldn't do anything because he couldn't read the receipt. Ethan's jaw clenched. Next in line was a middle-aged man who simply wanted to know where to find batteries. Derek barely lifted his head and gestured vaguely toward the back of the store. This was unacceptable. Not just bad service, but a blatant disrespect for the customers who made up the heart of the company. Ethan decided it was time to intervene. When it was his turn, he calmly asked Derek if he could help him check the price on an item. Without even glancing at Ethan, Derek replied, "There's a scanner over there." No courtesy, no effort, no acknowledgement. Ethan thanked him and withdrew, feeling a storm of frustration brewing within him. Was this really what his company had become? With a sinking heart, he wandered deeper into the store, searching for someone who genuinely cared. That's when he spotted Todd, a middle-aged man diligently arranging products on shelves. His movements were measured, deliberate. Ethan marveled at how Todd seemed genuinely invested in his work. When a customer approached with a question, Todd saw her immediately. He smiled warmly, listened carefully, and provided thoughtful advice about the best pots and pans for long-term use. The contrast with Derek was stark and disheartening. In that moment, Ethan had a revelation. There were many Todds who likely felt overlooked and undervalued, while careless employees like Derek floated through unchecked. Anger surged through him. He remembered all the labor and care that had gone into creating Grant Goods. How each store should reflect that ethos, not just churn out numbers in a report. Determined to dig deeper, Ethan returned to his corporate office the next day and bypassed the usual meetings. He went straight to the department handling employee performance and customer complaints. What he discovered shocked him to the core. Derek's name was featured multiple times in customer complaints. Rude interactions, lack of care, unprofessional behavior. Meanwhile, Todd's records glowed brightly. Numerous accolades and requests for promotion that had been denied due to budget constraints. Sitting in his office, gripping the reports tightly, it became clear. Grant Goods had grown so focused on profits and efficiency that it failed to nurture what mattered most, its people. The promise that started Grant Goods was slipping away like grains of sand. Ethan felt a mix of anger and determination swell within him. He knew he needed to make a change. Not just for himself but for everyone who believed in the mission of the company. A week later, on a bright Monday morning, Ethan walked back into store number 213. This time, he made no effort to disguise his identity as the CEO. Employees quickly noticed him, reactions ranging from confusion to anxiety as they exchanged whispers. The store manager, a young woman, rushed over with a forced smile. "We weren't expecting you today, sir." "That's precisely the point," Ethan replied, gathering employees in the break room for a meeting. They looked perplexed but curious. Derek was slouched in the back, arms crossed defensively, while Todd stood near the front, calm yet alert. "I started this company to make life easier for people," Ethan began, addressing the group with conviction. "But somewhere along the way, we lost sight of what makes Grant Goods special. Last week, I came as a customer, and what I witnessed was unacceptable." Silence fell. The gravity of his words hung thick in the air. Derek shifted uncomfortably, while Todd straightened, meeting Ethan's gaze. "I saw some of you helping customers with respect and dedication, while others treated them like an inconvenience. That cannot continue." Ethan turned to Todd, his voice warm yet commanding. "Your dedication hasn't gone unnoticed. You've been recommended for promotions multiple times, and those decisions are going to change today." He announced that Todd would now be the assistant manager, prompting applause from around the room. Ethan then challenged Derek directly. "But Derek, I also witnessed behavior that is entirely contrary to our company's values. This company is built on respect, not just for customers but for each other. If that's something you cannot uphold, then this may not be the place for you." Derek looked around nervously, the reality of the moment hitting him like a tidal wave. There was nowhere to hide as he faced the judgment of his peers, gulping nervously and muttering, "I understand." Ethan wasn't done. He knew that what he observed in store number 213 was likely replicating across the board in other locations. The heart of Grant Goods was at stake, and change was necessary. He immediately put into motion company-wide reforms, new training programs rooted in the core values of respect, integrity, and care. Staffing levels were adjusted to prevent employees from feeling overwhelmed, ensuring they had enough time to serve customers effectively. An anonymous feedback system was also introduced, empowering employees and customers alike to voice concerns without fear of repercussions. Ethan made sure that recognition was no longer just a distant concept. He would reward hard work and dedication, ensuring that promotions reflected effort and commitment, not just numbers on a page. As time passed, he visited store number 213 frequently. Each visit felt like a new adventure, revealing the gradual transformation taking place. Employees grew more engaged and empowered. They treated customers with genuine warmth and enthusiasm. The heart of Grant Goods was beating more fiercely than ever. Todd, thriving in his new role as assistant manager, trained new hires with the same dedication he had always shown, reminding them of the company's core values. Even Derek slowly began to change. With Todd's guidance, he engaged with customers more sincerely, becoming an employee who was trying to turn things around. It took time, but over the months, Derek evolved from a mere figure of negligence into a proud representative of the brand. Ethan, witnessing these transformations, felt a warmth swell in his heart. He returned one fateful afternoon, unannounced, and stood at the entrance of store number 213. There was a buzz in the air. Customers laughed, employees chatted joyfully, and Todd was actively engaged in training a group of new hires with infectious energy. He saw Derek assisting a customer at the service counter with genuine care. A sense of accomplishment washed over Ethan. This was it. This was what Grant Goods was meant to be. The store felt alive, a symphony of laughter, respect, and connection. Ethan reflected on his journey, grateful for the trials that led him back to the foundation of his business. He promised himself that he would always stay grounded, never again allowing numbers to disconnect him from reality. In witnessing this metamorphosis, Ethan learned the true essence of leadership wasn't hidden behind boardroom walls, but flowed from the ground up. He understood that every employee had a story, that each person deserved respect, appreciation, and a chance to take ownership of their role within the wider narrative of the company. This experience revealed to him that true leadership exists within the fabric of shared humanity. He also recognized the potential residing in every Derek, a person capable of change and growth when given the right guidance and opportunities. In the end, Ethan's journey was not just about business. It was about connection, empathy, and the courage to recognize and rectify issues that affect people's lives. He left store number 213 that day with a new mission: to shape the future of Grant Goods with heart, experience, and community in mind. And as the sun dipped low on the horizon, Ethan ventured back into the bustling city, empowered to share this story, the narrative of a leader who found his way back to his roots and reshaped not just his company, but the lives of those who worked within it. So, the question now lingers, rich with opportunity. What kind of leader would you choose to be? Share your thoughts in the comments and join the conversation about leadership, respect, and the profound power of second chances. For every story reminds us that within the walls of our workplaces, whether as employees, managers, or customers, lie opportunities for growth, connection, and endless potential. Whether we'll realize it or not, the stories we create together forge the paths we walk tomorrow. #the end.